I guess, take advantage of that.
Well, it is. I think we're actually in the pistol round here, which is great to see because the action has already started. MongolZ starting on the CT side of Mirage, and a map in which NiP's already copped some horrible treatment already today, and it looks to continue. There's Machine Gun. Fantastic job. Gets the triple kill and says hello to the Swedish Giants.
Yeah, great to see here starting off for the MongolZ. I don't know what their pistol record was last map, but certainly looking good in that one. And they are going to get that little bit of an advantage heading into this first half here against the Ninjas.
Really surprised, though, to be honest, to see the fact that Ninjas and Pyjamas have left Mirage in the map pool. I mean, notoriously, NiP have been a team that's been known for having a shallow pool, especially amongst the Tier 1 teams, but having already lost in pretty convincing fashion against Mousesports earlier on in the night. Really surprised by this. You can see they have invested into this round, everything they've got, actually. So some Rec 9, some armor across the board, and they've already lost one member there in the form of Forest.
Yeah, they certainly have. Menace picking that kill up there. There is a trade, though, coming out for NiP. Freiburg will pick up Zilkenberg, who is kind of one of the key players here for the Mongols. So that's an important frag here for NiP. And they have forced up here as well. So they do have that kind of a little bit of an opening into this round, which they can perhaps exploit.
Well, they can. They're trying to actually just find the picks at the moment. But if you look at the overlay, they're quite isolated in the sense that all 4 remaining members for NiP are all disjointed, all trying to find that opening to the side at the moment here. Obviously, we know that their in-game leader has now transitioned across from Exist to Threat, their coach who they've added just recently in the off-season. So this is the LAN debut with Threat as the in-game leader and Pith as their new 5th player. So still obviously finding the way. You can see at the moment, Exist has actually found his way with great fashion, actually through to CT Spawn. So
yeah,
bit of a lapse there, and he'll try and pounce on the CTs.
This is actually going to be really dangerous here for NCL. He's holding in CT, not going to be aware of this player at all. Exist picking up a free kill there on the A bomb site. Now the Mongols in danger of losing this anti-eco unless Machine Gun can come up huge, and we do know that he's such a key player here for the Mongols. Sogu will pick himself up one, but does get traded out straight away by Exist. Now a 2 versus 3 retake on the cards here for the Mongols. A good grenade will tag Menace down to 48, and Machine Gun only on 62 HP, so not a whole lot of HP to work with for these two players, and they really don't have any utilities either. So this is going to be a really tough retake. A 1 kill goes over to each team, and that's not good at all for the Mongols here. Machine Gun, the sole survivor, and he's going to go down there to Pith. So the Ninjas in Pyjamas pulling around back out of nowhere.
Yeah, almost inexcusable there from the MongolZ, to be honest, on that anti-eco round. This is the second time tonight in which we've seen MongolZ losing against a Force Sport team on the second round. There was a hole there, and it Exist did a fantastic job actually getting through jungle, through the vent, getting behind them on the ticket box there, and taking them down, opening up that A bomb side. And all of a sudden, MongolZ forced to be in a position in which they've seen themselves all too often tonight. They're on an eco. They have invested into pistols and armor, so they're gambling on their ability to win this round back and try and reset NiP, but it'll be quite difficult here. You can see NiP have 4 rifles to boot, and are looking well fortified to defend against any CT aggression.
Yeah, especially considering that first kill in the round goes over to NiP. Generally speaking, when you see a force-up or an eco round win, the first kill isn't going to be going against you. So that's disappointing here for the Mongols in this round, but obviously not all said and done just yet. They do have a reasonable mid-control. Unfortunately, though, the Ninjas in Pyjamas heading in towards that B bomb site almost.
This is what we've seen from NiP, though, in the limited exposure we have seen with them with their new lineup and obviously their new coach now in the form of Threat, where they've been a lot more passive. I guess their playstyle has now changed from that loose individualistic style to a very structured set play, where we've seen them open up this round with 1 frag, make it 2 now, and they're still walking their way back, transversing through T-spawn. Really no rush there to execute onto the side, and this is an NiP that we're not used to seeing, and I think the players themselves are probably not expecting it, but we'll see how they go now. They will commit to that A side, and still doing a great job there.
Yeah, good position from him. Zilkenberg, in the meanwhile, did pick up one as well, so not too bad for the Mongols in this pistol round, but really, considering they invested in the armor as well as the pistols, probably not the result that they were looking for. I think they needed at least another couple of kills here. Oh. Machine Gun picking that one up will help with a nice headshot onto Pith, but still not where they want to be. They are denying the bomb plant, though, and let's see what Machine Gun could do. Almost being able to clutch it out, but does get taken down there by Exist. Still a very expensive round for the Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Oh, really fortunate there for NiP to walk away with that victory. You actually saw them there. It was Forest and Exist in that pit towards the T-ramp. I think they actually wanted to back off away from that A-bomb site, recognizing the Machine Gun was there, but when they had a quick look at the stop clock, they realized they only had about 20 seconds to play with, so they had to commit to that A-bomb side, and in the end, lucky to get away with that 1 versus 1 victory. We will see now MongolZ on an eco round, so NiP should be able to build up some bank this round. I hope you have an easier time for their sake. I think they'd certainly be the highly favoured team to walk away with this match. I'm certainly predicting that they will be able to get back on winning ways and get on the board tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the Mongols here are already in a bit of a dangerous situation. Obviously, on that CT side nowadays, it is very difficult to get that economy rolling, and you can already see the Mongols on the eco, only the 4th round in, so Starting to see that already playing a part here. And whether or not the Ninjas are going to be able to take advantage of that is the question. I dare say they will be.
It's very strange to see NiP playing this passive. Certainly a style which we've already said that they're not used to, but Threat as an EM leader was known throughout his career in the Swedish scene, always around that sort of 3rd to 4th sort of tier or team mark in Sweden. Did a great job of developing young talent, only to have players later poached to bigger name teams such as Fnatic and SK and whatnot. But whilst he's great at implementing a basic structure within the team, he was never really one to be winning titles and whatnot and to be making a great run of things whilst as an in-game leader. So I think at the moment NiP still have some adjustment to do. I think, and I'm hoping that over time, certainly it's still in the early stage, I'm hoping that over time Threat can elevate these guys because they're extremely competitive players and they certainly want to get back on the winning way. Yeah,
really good read here from the Mongols. They've already got 5 on the site, but it's not really making much of a difference. As you can see, NiP charging in here, picking themselves up 4 kills already. There's the 5th going to get right, and that was a very easy round coming out for the Ninjas. Could have been a little bit worse though, just because of the read that the Mongols had. They got onto that site so quickly, but no trouble at all for NiP.
And I like the fact that Pith has actually started off here with 4 frags in what is 4 rounds here. I think even though for the most part they have been anti-eco frags, I think the guy needs all the confidence he can get at the moment. He had a rough start to the day. I think he got 7 frags in their opening match against Mousesports, really struggled. I think he had a 0.37 rating. So any sort of frags at the moment will bolster his confidence. Obviously the new addition to the team, and I think still looking to find his feet in this sort of top tier Counter-Strike.
And obviously the Mongols here now on a bye round, so another important one for them. They want to get some rounds on the board here. Ninja's getting a pretty good amount of control in towards middle, but not making too much of a use of it just yet as they head down towards short. Now going to try and enter in towards the B site. Get right on the lurk though. Up in Palace is going to be able to find NCL there. Nice little kill from him. That might draw a rotate. Not quite yet from the Mongols, but it is Pyth grabbing machine gun as well. So 2 players down already, the Mongols, and really not a whole lot of damage done in response to the Ninjas.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job though, not just in finding those 2 frags, but also gaining crucial map control. Look at Freiburg here, position in the window room. You can see Sodu actually has no idea he's posted up there, waiting for him to step around that corner. So this is looking really, really good for NiP. I like the fact that they've actually had the peace of mind to rotate back now towards the A site, while Singelberg should, but doesn't convert that first frag there. There were no other CT members to support that bomb site. So as NiP make their way up here, it should be quite easy for them to take and secure this round.
Oh, Sogu, he might be able to catch out Freiburg here. No, it's going to be Freiburg to turn around and picks him up with a nice little easy headshot. And now down to Menace.
It's nice to see Freiburg getting frags.
It is. It's always good, I guess, if you're an NiP fan.
Hasn't happened in a while, but he is performing well at the moment. NiP here, starting off the stronger of the 2 teams. This was certainly the side that I think suffered most heavily in their first match up against Mousesports. We saw them only walking away with a handful of terrorist rounds here.
5 rounds was what they got.
5, yep.
Yeah, so already looking pretty good. Sitting on 4 here already, and the Mongols once again lacking that economy to really be able to make an impact on the round. So should be another reasonably easy one here for NiP, but again, they want to just sort of play it slowly, not really take too many risks, and keep as many guns in the hands as they can.
Yeah, it's looking pretty comfortable, to be honest, for the moment for NiP, and that's probably just what they need. We said they're still finding their feet with their new roster. They've only played what is now 12 maps this year, with Pith in their team and Threat as the in-down leader. So I think the more Counter-Strike they can get under the belts, the better. Obviously, this competition itself won't be an indication as to perhaps the prolonged success of this new lineup, but certainly can't help to get an early idea as to how well this team will gel together. A lot of scrutiny, I think, was being placed on Pith, certainly for his acquisition this team. We know he wasn't the first choice of NiP. That's been made public now by a few players, but I think that adds a lot of pressure to the player, knowing that that's public knowledge and certainly the weight of expectations from the community. This is a team that obviously for a number of years were world beaters. They were the best team in the world, and trying to find their footing again, I think for a young player can be quite a daunting prospect.
Yeah, certainly can, but it will be some much needed experience for him as well, you know, getting into one of those top teams. So always going to be a few jitters and that sort of thing, but we'll see how he develops as a player as I guess they get more familiar with themselves. Anyway, we are going to see the execute coming onto the B bomb site here from NiP. Exist will find the first and the second frag as they enter in towards there. Zilkenberg will go down as well to get right. Oh, Forrest missing a shot there with the AWP, but really isn't going to cost them too much, as NiP just going to be able to pick up that bomb site and really make a mincemeat of the Mongols there.
Something that concerns me though, from an NiP standpoint, whilst they're winning these rounds quite comfortably, they're winning the Angels. Mongols are actually doing a fantastic job of getting numbers onto the sites in which NiP are executing. We saw obviously that round they actually had, I think, 4, nearly 5 members by the time NiP stepped out of the B halls. And in an earlier eco round, we saw them obviously get down to that 1 versus 1 at the A side, as again, Mongols had numbers there. And I think against the team that's able to punish NiP for perhaps making these plays that are quite easy to read, at least for these top tier teams, it might be a little bit more difficult for them to close out the rounds.
All right, Zilkenberg has managed to pick himself up an AWP here, though, so we'll see if that plays any part in the round. I think that's the first time he's been able to grab at this map, so whether or not that plays a difference is going to be an important part here for the Mongols. Sogu has picked up the first frag, but does get traded out there by Pyth. There is a good trade in response, though, from Machine Gun, so the teamwork is here at the moment for Mongols, at least in this round.
Yeah, you actually see Forrest as well with the AWP this round. So this is his new role in the team. Obviously, with Alu leaving, he's been the man to step up. He's incredibly talented. He could almost make any gun work for him, but crucially, he's not a dedicated AWPer, so perhaps against some of the stronger teams with AWPers, it might be a tough battle for him. You can see he has backed off at the moment, down towards that T-ramp, but Get Right, meanwhile, is headed into the site, so perhaps some, I guess, disjointed play here coming out from NiP as they're now forced to commit back onto the A bomb site, having lobbed those smokes and flashes over the wall and try and make it all things second time round.
Yeah, Get Right will pick up Zilkenberg there, bringing it back to a 3 versus 3. Exist finding NCL as well. And that brings it back to a 2 versus 3. I was going to bring up the point that the Mongols had the player advantage for the first time in a long time, but unfortunately that was brought back there by the NiP players. Machine Gun, though, will find Forrest, brings it back to a 2 versus 2, but Get Right immediately trades out Menace, and now we're back to a 2 versus 1. It is Machine Gun, though. He does have a kid as well to work with, so a little bit of extra time. He's going to be able to pick up Get Right here, spins around, but not quite able to land the spray onto Exist. A good effort, but not quite enough there for the Mongols.
Oh, I think that's been the story of the night, probably for me as well, where they've been putting up some great showing, and there's definitely been some signs of life, not just in this match on that particular round as an example, but also against Mouse Sports, where for little stretches they look like the menacing prospect that we know that they can be when they demolished and feasted upon the Australian teams in the qualifier. Not that that says much in and of its own, but Mongols, I think, just need to have that consistency at the moment, and I think one of the aspects that's hurting them and really drawing back from that consistency is the fact that they don't have much money to play with. Obviously, the economy is so important in Counter-Strike, and for a team that's finding themselves on eco every second round or thereabouts, it can be quite difficult to get momentum.
Yeah, there are probably a lot of variables actually going into this here for the Mongols. They have had a pretty stressful week coming into this. Obviously didn't get their visas sorted for the major qualifiers, and then they had, I guess, the question mark of whether or not they were even going to be able to come to this event. In the end, of course, their visas came through, but still, that's not going to lead it to, or lend itself to a great preparation schedule for the Mongols.
Nonetheless, I think that these guys as professionals will be able to put this behind them. You can see that NiP have made their way onto that B bomb side, and at the moment they've actually done quite well in terms of getting quite deep into the side before giving up that presence. But so doing NCL doing a fantastic job actually finding one apiece. So all of a sudden, as the frags throw down, all of a sudden, NiP had the pressure applied to them, but they have answered accordingly as they do find the remaining 3 frags. Forrest doing a good job of actually picking up 2 with the AWP, Frybird 1 with his AK. And disaster averted there for NiP. 7-1 they currently lead, and on probably what is considered the less favourable side on Mirage, at least in the current meta. They're looking very, very good at the moment.
Yeah, the trouble is here for Mongols, every round seems like it's so close. It's down to a 1 versus 2 or a 1 versus 1. And they're all going in the favour of NiP, and that's just got to be crushing here for the Mongols. But still, they have these opportunities to get some rounds on the board, and they're just not able to execute them just yet. Still waiting to see whether or not they will finally pick one up.
Well, something a bit different, actually. Machine Gun purchasing an AWP this round, so it's something that we haven't seen so far in this competition. Obviously, early days, but he's extremely talented as an individual. Had a breakout performance at the IEM Type A qualifiers and was wrecking heads left, right, and centre. So really excited this prospect. You can see he's up against Forrest with that AWP battle at the moment, but as he repositions himself, it will be Sodu there in the mid-window, trying to get some information for his team, but good utility work there from NiP, blocking off the vision of the CTs.
Yeah, NiP just playing relatively slowly at the moment, but Renegades, not Renegades, Machine Gun. I don't even know what's going on there, but he picks up a double kill. Sogu will find one onto Frybird. So another round here that looks like it could potentially go in the way of the Mongols. They just need to be able to close it out.
That's right, they are in a 4-on-2 now, and you can see NiP slowly making their way towards B-halls, but really outclassed there in mid. Fantastic work by Machine Gun getting those 2 kills, particularly that second one, that great reaction onto the man who was standing at short. Forrest there, I think he spotted out the big toe of one member. No, he doesn't, but in the end, great work taking down Sodu as he was pushing for information. But in a 4-on-2 play, that's really, really risky and much too advanced for my liking. I think we would have been better off playing back in the side and relying on the support of his teammates. Good work there by Menace, though, turning this back into a 1 versus 3 Forrest. His position is now known, and as he lays down that bed of fire, he will take down Menace with the Rec 9, and time now running quite low. He's only got about 25 seconds left. Does connect there onto the head of NCL, so all of a sudden finds himself in a 1-on-1, has 5 points of health, and does suspect that Zilkenberg is there at short. He has the read, but I love this play by Zilkenberg. He's just biding his time. He's forcing Forrest to make the play in this instance. If Forrest needs to recover that bomb, move in towards that B side. You can see, though, he has the information. Zilkenberg is there, and this should be Forrest, and it is. He gets the 1 versus 3. It is the full kill. Fantastic work there by the veteran, one of the greatest CS 1.6 players of all time. He's recently been forced to reshuffle his role and pick up that AWP and putting it to great effect just there for his team.
Yeah, and again, the story of the Mongols is they come so close to a round and then somehow it slips away. And in that 3 versus 1 situation, you really shouldn't be expecting the one player to pick that one up.
And I know it didn't sound like a big deal when we were pointing out Sodu in that instance, pushing through the B-halls in a 4-on-2, but giving him up his life that easily, all of a sudden we see Forest converting a 1 versus 3, so I think that's the inexperience shining through for me. Unfortunately, you can only learn from that in hindsight, as it tends to be with experience. We see NiP doing a great job here of opening up their A bomb site, but when these guys look back to that match, that round in particular, they'll be really disappointed with their play, but obviously there's still time for them to regroup whilst this match is quickly getting out of hand. I love the fact that this format allows them the opportunity to play 5 matches.
Yeah.
I love the round-robin format, and I think that these guys will still be giving their best shot as they continue on in this comp.
Yeah, look, I mean, the Mongols, obviously this is going to be a big learning experience for them. I think you guys sort of broke it down a little bit better in the last match that they played, but obviously they're not expecting to come into this blazing everyone away. It is more of that learning experience. Obviously picking up a map win or something like that against one of these teams would be great.
Yeah, they've actually gone for the double AWP setup here, so I just paused just to make sure that my eyes didn't deceive me. They've actually found the way to, I guess, collect all that Skriller and invest it wisely into 2 sniper rifles. But at the moment, you can see Menace playing such a close range there with that AWP in hand. And given the fact that you've invested in an AWP, surely you want to be using it at long range, but instead it's shotgun style. Silkenberg will find one, but as Freiburg and Forest burst onto this B side, all of a sudden Forest has complete reign of the map, and both CTs make it 1 CT on the other side of the map.
NCL might be able to pick up a kill here, bring it back to a 1 versus 1, which he does, but he's been dropped down to 10 HP. Not that that's a big deal, because obviously Forest we can see with the AWP there. Still, he's going to have to try and retake this bomb site. The B bomb site, it appears, is the one that Forest is going to be heading towards. And he should be able to get the bomb down relatively easily. But still, again, another round here that the Mongols might be able to pick up.
Now, what I'm really interested to see is the sort of communication that's coming in from NiP, because they should recognise, I think, of the players that have already died in their team, the fact that NCL had taken a lot of damage. So if that's communicated to Forest, he should be using his pistol in this instance, but it looks as though perhaps that's not the case, as he keeps his sniper rifle and tries to find that frag. Yeah,
NCL, though, in a very nice position here. I don't think Forest knows where he is. And now it's all up to NCL to be able to play the hide-and-seek game and find Forest, which unfortunately it appears that Forest has found him first. And it is going to be Forest to close it out there. Once again, NiP coming up clutch. 10 rounds on the board, up against the 1 for Mongols.
Yeah, good work by Forrest. I think that communication was definitely there. He actually had the AWP just to hold that window room line, and I think once he was, I guess, assured and comfortable that that was clear, switched to the pistol. Good positioning there at the back of the side, actually managing to catch the Mongols member off guard. Quite fortunate, actually, the fact that he whiffed his first few shots, but was still able to connect in the end. 10-1, and NiP looking really strong here, and looking like a shadow of their former selves, given the fact that they were stomped on the first map, up against Mousesports, on Mirage nonetheless, but at the moment, performing really well against the inexperienced Mongolian team. Yeah,
the Mongols here have opted to go for a bit of a force buy. Only a couple of FAMASs and a Mag 7 rather there to, I guess, round out the buy, and that's not necessarily what they would have wanted here. No utilities to work with either. The first kill will go to exist as well, so NiP looking pretty good here in this round. Machine Gun will find one with the Swag 7, but does go down as a result to Freiburg, and it's back to a 3 versus 4.
That's right, you can see Menace there at B short, and a lot of pressure on his shoulders at the moment. He's not to know, but Freiburg posted up very close to him at the moment, and potentially a terrorist or two headed towards the B halls later on in the round. So Menace needs to hold strong, does get the drop onto Freiburg, taking down the experienced veteran and turning back this round, squares the ledger. You can see at the moment Sodu. The CT is still a little bit unsure as to where the T attack's coming from. You can see at the moment the CT is just almost checking every possible angle, and suggests to me the fact that NiP really haven't committed too much information. They're still very deep at the moment.
A lot of flashbangs coming into the A site. Sogu will win the duel up against Exist there. Brings it back to a 3 versus 2 situation. So Mongols again have got an opening into a round. And there you go, Sogu finding his second kill as well. Picking up, get right. There is Forest though to bring back 1 frag, but Sogu. Is that a triple kill in the round? It is. So a nice individual performance from him is going to find the Mongols their second round for the first half.
Good work there by Sodu. He was the player that really stepped up large for his team during the grand final of the IEM Taipei Asia qualifier. Had a quiet tournament up until that point, but really when the pressure was on, gave a great account of himself. And he's actually, I think, second on the scoreboard at the moment. Machine Gun, I think the captain and star of the team, by all accounts, is doing a great job with 13 frags, but it's not enough. He needs support of his team. NiP can obviously afford to buy into this round. They're again persisting with that AWP in the hands of Forest, and with Machine Gun trying to take that AWP battle in mid, but at the moment, all he's doing is, I guess, eating nades as they're thrown with great effect towards him at the moment, putting him down below half HP, and NiP now have control of mid.
Yeah, well, Mongolians are pretty badass. Maybe grenades are a staple in their diet. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be working out too well there for Machine Gun, though. Down to 47 HP. Sogu almost should have been able to pick that frag up, but Freiburg spins around, picks him up. And back to a 4 versus 5 in the favor of NiP. This will be a trade, though. Machine Gun picking up Freiburg in response. NCL, though, picks up Pyth as well. Exist does trade him out, though. So a 3 versus 3 situation once again.
Yeah, and really favouring the B side. This is really quite unorthodox and unconventional for terrace-sided teams. Certainly, A side in the current meta seems to be the favoured side. Certainly see lots of teams, I guess, utilising the ability with the lack of skyboxes to launch those grenades over the A wall and get into the side. But at the moment, NiP opting to stay towards B. Menace has found one, but Forrest does retaliate. So great job with the AWP. He's been on fire all night. Machine Gun takes him down, though, and now only has one to contend with. Exist. It is in that site. You can see still has plenty of time to work with, and actually great positioning here by the experienced former in-game leader of NiP. Takes the first, spots out the second, and does convert. Great work, taking down the powerful jaw in the form of Machine Gun and Zilkenberg. And clearly everything going NiP's way at the moment. They're winning every clutch situation. Just when MongolZ finally get over the edge and win that round, instantly their money is reset.
Indeed, the money is reset, and that's the danger here for the MongolZ, of course. Being on that CT side, the economy always so difficult to get going, and that's really not going to make things any easier. It's going to be sitting on a, well, it looks like they've forced up here, so...
I don't think they have a choice, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think with the current deficit, I don't fault them for this decision. I think they're quickly running out of rounds. I think eco in this situation would be a little bit silly. So I like this from them. You can see Menace here pushing out mid, but doesn't have any support. So again, it just seems like that individualistic playstyle here from MongolZ, perhaps letting them down a little bit. But we'll see what Menace can do. About to take that chill, perhaps.
Forrest, in the meanwhile, has picked up Machine Gun over on the B-bomb site. So an opening already here for the Ninjas in Pyjamas. See if they can get anything from it. It is going to be Pyth going for a duel here in mid, and it is going to be Menace going down there. Freiburg as well picks up Sogu. So pretty much a really easy round coming out here for NiP. They're really not making too many mistakes at all, no risks. NCL does manage to find Exist there, but that gun is not going to be retrievable for the MongolZ, so could have been a better result for them, but still, a 1 for nothing, I guess, is what you would take. Yeah,
and NiP certainly, I mean, they're in cruise control at the moment. Zilkenberg does get taken down there by the new player in the form of Pierce, but this is the sort of situation for me where I guess the change to the NiP and their roster movements and getting threat in as an in-game leader really is almost inconsequential. I think that NiP at this point are just running around, getting the frags, and certainly comfortable with the way things are transpiring. And at the moment, I'd almost like to see from an NiP perspective them getting a little bit more challenged in terms of the scoreline. I think that perhaps would have put a little bit more pressure on NiP and we'll be actually able to get to see what they're made of. But having their way at the moment, it's fair to say, you look at that streak of rounds, and impressive is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, it certainly is, but obviously NiP still not looking in top form, obviously going down to Mouse Sports earlier. And now, see if they can pick up the MongolZ here. Looks like they're going to be doing a pretty good job of that as Freiburg picks up a double kill spray down. Forrest to find Menace. NCL, he's doing a pretty reasonable job in these pistol rounds with that CZ, picking a few kills up. But still not enough for the MongolZ. It's down to Zilkenberg in a 1 versus 3. An unwinnable situation when you're up against NiP. Forrest to close it out. 13-2 the first half score in the favour of NiP.
Yeah, and you see both teams reading up very, very quickly. What I would say, though, and I might elaborate on this after the match as well, is the fact that from a MongolZ perspective, I don't actually mind the way that they're losing. Sometimes you see teams going over to their first international competition and you look at the way the rounds were lost, and sometimes they decimate teams and have all 5 members survive in one round, then the very next they get blown out the park completely and look horrible. Whereas this case for MongolZ, you can see that they're putting up a great fight every round. Like we said, a lot of these are coming down to clutch situations for NiP, and to me that's actually... It says to me that MongolZ have the aim to compete. At the moment, they just don't have, I guess, the game sense and the structure to the game to be able to have that complete package. But I think there's a lot of promise here for this young Mongolian team, because if you can match it aim to aim with some of these stars, you're halfway there.
Yeah, you certainly can. Let's see if Zilkenberg can do it here up against GetRight, who is just playing patiently on the balcony there. Machine Gun does get a nice little bit of damage across to Forrest. It actually ends up taking him down. Zilkenberg has spotted out GetRight as well. The flashbang comes in, and this should be a kill for Zilkenberg. He's whiffing a lot of shots, but finally GetRight goes down there to Sogu, who comes in for the backup. There is a player on short. That's Pyth, but he is going to go down as well. There's a couple of trades going across here in favour of both teams, but MongolZ come out the better of it. 3 versus 2 the result. They get the bomb down as well, and now the retake is going to have to come on for NiP. Exist and Freiburg, the ones to do it. Freiburg, though, down to 12 HP. This is going to be difficult for NiP. That will help, though. Menace picking up, or Menace getting picked up, rather, by Freiburg. Zilkenberg is there to close out the kill onto Freiburg, and he also grabs Exist as well. So another pistol round win here for the MongolZ. So the important thing now for them is they cannot lose this anti-eco.
They can't. I think that'd certainly be the final nail in the coffin. But obviously, even still with that pistol round, a long way to come if they're to claw their way back into this match. But great work there in the instance. Machine and good job actually getting that fraggy move with the Glock at long range, and I think they caused that rotation. They were actually able to creep up onto the CT defenders in the V bomb site almost undetected and swarmed onto the site. So great pistol round. Certainly that'll help to boost their confidence now, and perhaps we might see a little bit of a streak here, but it's going to be very tough from here on out. T-side is their favoured side. They're quite open about the fact that they do prefer terrorists. They've won 80% of their terrorist sides since they formed this lineup in November last year, and at least on this round, it's working for them as they have found 3 easy frags until Forrest grabs one of his own. Yeah,
certainly looking okay for them here on this anti-eco, but we have seen the Mongols not necessarily closing the rounds that they should, so we'll see if this one does get closed out. Looking like it is going to be, and there we go. Zilkenberg to close out the final kill there, so 2-round string, the first time in this map for the Mongols.
Yeah, they've had a tough time, it's fair to say. You can see, actually, I'm curious to see on the scoreboard at the moment. It's quite strange to me because you look at the team that Sheenan's actually dropping bombs with 17 frags, and I mean, it's the sort of scoreline, even perhaps some of his supporting cast, that would suggest that the match would actually be a little bit closer than it is, but I think it just goes to show how well NiP have done it, closing out some of these very tight rounds. You can see that they are opting to eco this round, understandably so. Looking forward to buying on that 4th round, which will be the first gun round. They've got plenty of buffer room at the moment, so there's no need from their sake to rush, and I like the fact that they're just playing the patient game.
Yeah, Pyth getting pretty aggressive up there on short. Machine Gun will find Forrest, and now Pyth has given away his position and will go down as a result. Freiburg does manage to close out 1 kill, but NiP once again looking in a little bit of distress in this anti-eco here, of course, or eco, I guess, in their favour.
Yeah, looking comfortable. Freiburg in this instance, I mean, the entry fragger of the team. He's the last alive in this instance, and perhaps trying to rekindle some of that early CSGO form. 2015 wasn't his year, and NiP actually only managed to claim 1 trophy. I think they won the ASUS ROG Winter Tournament early in the beginning of 2015, but looking perhaps to try and start off 2016 with a little bit more success. We move into the first gun round now. This is important now. Interested to see what sort of setup the terrorists go for. They will get that AWP into the hands of Zilkenberg very early on. Now, this is something we didn't see from them in their previous match against Mouse Sports. We saw MongolZ actually resorting to the AWP almost nearly towards the end of the half. They were very much reliant on their rifles, but we'll see what they can do this round as they do send 3 moves very quickly towards mid.
Yeah, Zilkenberg, though, with the AWP, is heading towards the A bomb site. It's looking like an A split almost. They need to get the control of that mid first, though.
They're doing a good job with that. I like the use of utility there, so perhaps some tactical elements come into play here, and they've actually done a great job of blocking off short, but that aggressive push there from Exist into the underpass does catch off NCL, and Pith there capitalising as well onto Menace. So as the frags come in, it is NiP who will hold their heads high in this situation. They now find themselves with only 1 member left to contend with. It will be Zilkenberg. He has grabbed the first. He's at the Tetris boxes and has limited HP to play with, to say the least, in the end. Pith does take him down, and the youngster proving the goods in that round. NiP take 1 step closer, 14-5.
Yeah, I mean, there was some good takeaways there for the Mongols in that round, though. You could see Sogu managed to find himself in a reasonably interesting position on the A bomb site, got through the smoke in towards the CT spawn, wasn't able to close out the double kill on the spray down, but at least managed to get that good positioning going. So there is something there for the Mongols.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's been the story all night, where we've certainly seen little glimpses and some potential within the team, but unfortunately for their sake, they haven't yet really been able to convert that and close out some of these rounds. They're now obviously buying into this round. They don't have many rounds to play with, so recognising that every round is vital to their success from here on out, they will push on towards A here, Jordan.
Certainly will. They got in okay, and there is a couple of kills going over in their favour, though Exist does pick himself up a double kill in response. So back to a 3 versus 3. Menace down to 2 HP. Forrest giving away his position with the AWP now. He's going to get challenged by Sogu, but he's going to be able to live. Forrest managing to find a kill onto Menace. I think that might have been through a box and through Sogu.
It wasn't the one he was aiming at!
Yeah, anyway, he picks up a kill. I'm sure he'll be happy with it. Now into a 1 versus 2 situation. And Zilkenberg will go down there to get right. 15 on the board now for Ninjas in Pyjamas. So close to closing it out.
Not like that, Forrest. He actually missed the shot at close range, connected through the flame box onto a member over at Sandwich. Now, if there's an unfortunate way to die for anyone in Mongols, that was probably it, just to, I guess, add salt to the wound there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you take the luck that you're given. Lord Gabert in this instant quite graciously granted Forrest the ability to shoot through walls with great accuracy, and he'll take that.
Yeah, it certainly will. I mean, that's really not what the Mongols would have needed. If anything, they needed that sort of thing in their favour. Unfortunately, not going to happen. Forrest will find the first kill of the round there onto Zilkenberg. And the unfortunate situation now for the Mongols is they didn't have enough money to really bring out a full buy here in this do-or-die situation. So they're working with subpar equipment and hanging on by the skin of their teeth.
That's right. You can see at the moment actually just one member at the top of mid. Sodo it is, and he's actually posted up behind the wagon and has a lot of responsibilities. NiP seemingly want to take that duel with him, and whilst he has got one, Forest does walk away the victor in the end, and it almost forces the hand here of MongolZ. They now need to commit to this A bomb site. They've only got one surviving member, but that statement does not hold true for very long. NiP walk away victorious, 16-5. Really impressive showing by them. They'll be happy with that.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, that was kind of an important game.